Joining us now, Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics President Noah Bookbinder. Noah, I know you were in support of Colorado here. How did you feel about today?
Well, look, we knew going into this that what our clients, the 6 Republican and unaffiliated Colorado voters who brought this case, what they were asking the court to do was extraordinary. Even though we are confident that the law and the Constitution is clear, this was something that we've never seen in American history. So we understood that they'd get a lot of hard questions, and they did. And that's appropriate. What we saw was the U.S. Supreme Court taking this very seriously, asking hard questions of both sides, really, really penetrating into the details of this case. And we think that as they go through the briefs, as they consider the answers today, they're going to see that the law and the Constitution are clear.
When you say the Constitution is clear, what specifically are you arguing in terms of what the Constitution says and what they should decide?
I mean, what the Constitution says is that anyone who swears an oath to support the Constitution and then engages in insurrection is disqualified from office. I think one thing that you didn't hear much about today is whether Donald Trump engaged in insurrection, because we think that the facts are very clear on that. We all saw it with our own eyes. And so then it comes down to these very technical legal questions. And that's what the court was struggling with today. But I think that the ultimate point that the Constitution makes clear, that you can't be somebody who swore an oath to defend the Constitution, then engaged in insurrection, clearly applies. It has to logically apply to the president. I think the court really had a tough time with any sense that somehow there was an exception that only fit Donald Trump, which was essentially the argument that Trump's counsel was making. If we don't enforce it here and now, it's unclear how it can ever be enforced. And that's a real problem that I think the court is going to have to contend with as it makes its decision.
Do you expect that there's going to be any scenario where this case goes back in front of the Supreme Court? Say they take the off-ramp to say that Donald Trump needs to hold office. Do you think that there might be another suit or another instance where the Supreme Court might have to decide whether Donald Trump was an insurrectionist and is not qualified to run or to hold the office?
Obviously, it's hard to know, without knowing exactly what the Supreme Court might say. But I do think that is a problem. If the Supreme Court were to take a position, for instance, that this is premature, it only affects holding office, then you'd have to figure out, well, what's the proper way to bring that case? But if the Supreme Court leaves open that Donald Trump may be disqualified, but it's too early to say that, then there has to be a time in the future where that can be addressed. And that would leave the country in a state of tremendous uncertainty after millions and millions of Americans had voted, which seems like potentially a much worse place to go than the court taking up this issue and really working it out and addressing it now.
Yeah, that's difficult. Noah Bookbinder, thank you very much.